Welcome to the Tone Jerks podcast. I'm your wow, I fucked that up. I'm gonna keep that in.
All right,
Welcome to the Tone
Kyle
Jerks
McIntyre.
podcast.
I don't know what to do.
The timing, Kyle. You're like, this is
I'm
what
Kyle
I'm supposed to say.
McIntyre.
This is what I'm supposed to say.
I'm counting.
There's like,
I'm Kyle
like
McIntyre.
there's a script that's rolling. And you're like, I'll have to say it now. Okay.
My teleprompter.
Welcome to the Tone
Ah.
Jerks podcast. I'm your host, Brian Gower, and with me today we got
Kyle McIntyre. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. What's shaking? What's grooving? What's new in your world?
Well, I was made to look like a fool the other day. I had my sister. My sister has been spending a lot of time. Introduction. Yeah.
A damn fool.
Yeah.
I'm looking like a big old dingus.
Yeah. So my sister was in the area. She's painting some mural right in the area. I said some mural. She's painting two murals for a local city in this area, and so she swung by. She had her friend who's also into music, and he's got like some really rad guitars. He's got like American Strats, American Tellys, American P basses. I'm like, so it's funny. Like I was talking to him the other night, and like everything we align on so many levels of things we're interested in, which is funny. And then it's like, oh, yeah. Music, and he's got like the same things, and he loves the P bass and all this stuff. So he was talking. You know, I was showing him my copper Strat,
my collection. Yeah.
It's my performer Strat that I got. You know, I thought a good deal, right? And showing him, was playing it, and he's like, "Oh, does it have the push pull pot on it?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't have that." It's like, he's like, "Oh, okay." Because
no, fuck, we didn't get that shit in this bitch.
Come on, no, I don't have that shit. I don't got that much money. No, and he's like, "Oh,
what do you think? Money grows on trees?
Yeah,
gas nowadays.
This
You
is
think
a
we can
guitar from
afford
2000.
push pulls?
Yeah. So
we can afford push pulls.
We have push pulls at home. The push pulls at home.
We got a push pull for you, pal.
Yeah, I bet you do.
I got a push pull knob for you right here, pal. That's what you say. You're like,
God damn it.
You thumbs up nobody. You thumbs up your sister. You're like,
smash the guitar on the ground, just right on the concrete foundation, just boom. So
my brother is an asshole.
No, I was like, oh, I wasn't like, oh, I didn't laugh or anything. I was like, oh no, it doesn't have that. And he's like, oh really? Because all Fender performers have that push pull, circuit on there. He actually. He like dropped his glasses too. No, he did say that it turns on all the pickups. I was like, no, it doesn't do that. But it's okay. Anyways, I looked it up. Well, first of all, I was fiddling with it, and of course, it fucking has a push-pull tone knob. So it has a separate circuit in there, which I looked it up. It's called the grease bucket circuit, which is like a very Fender style circuit. That's you, Brian. You fucking grease bucket. Bitch.
John Travolta comes up. Sandy.
Brian Gower.
That's the only line. Yeah.
Brandy.
Tell me more. Yeah.
So
tell me more about the grease bucket circuit.
So it's a circuit.
Boom. Buzzer beater.
So it's like a treble cut circuit, really. You know, it doesn't mess with any of your like gain or anything. So it's just like kind of like it just cuts that treble, which I'm like, oh, kind of cool, but I usually like to have a lot of treble with my guitar anyways. But
yeah,
you don't want that. I want everyone to hear that fucking E string get just twanged like crazy when I'm just like hitting into it. So
really,
I was messing with it. Sounds kind of cool.
Having that twangy, attack
drone sometimes.
Heavy,
yeah.
No, I mean like bridge pickup. Obviously, because all my fucking guitars are just bridge pickup only. And it, like having like, I don't know.
Since this is visual, I'll show you. Keep going.
What are your main ones? You're doing visual right now. Okay, it's the last. So you have 3 on a Strat, typical Strat, right? Yeah. And you were like, no, the first one doesn't have it, right? No push pull. Yep, it doesn't have it. Okay, the second one, it doesn't have it either. Yeah, this whole thing doesn't have it. And then
when I did it, like my finger slipped off it. I was like, oh no, there's nothing. And I tried it again. I'm like, oh, just like that. And okay, I'm an idiot. Is there? Obviously, I didn't buy it new.
But when you play your Strat,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, when you play your Strat, do you have like a favorite position? So it's the it's traditional single coils, three single coil Strat. It's do you have a favorite
5 position?
Like, is it?
I like it right.
So it's gonna probably
get the bridge and the middle position both running together.
Yeah.
Because it kind of cuts down that background noise, but it's still there. Like, it's still allowed to get frisky. Wait, not frisky, rowdy.
Yeah.
That's me getting frisky.
Yeah.
But when I have it, because it's probably something I need to do over here with my I decked out my computer and put in like really nice fans so it would always stay cool with really low energy use. And so I use these, they call them MLs, so the magnetic levitation. So it actually uses really high-powered magnets.
I said, sorry, I wanted you to keep going, but I said, like I knew what you meant, and then you went on. I'm like, I don't know what he's talking about, but go on.
So the fans work by a magnet and electricity, right? Or like, anyways, by electricity spinning a motor, but these have a magnet in them that spin instead of.
How do they work?
Anyways, they're magnetic levitation. Is how they sell them, right? But
okay.
If I have just like the lower position on here, it picks up like like a really weird high pitched and it makes it sound like I'm going like weird noises.
Totally. I got my my beaker face going because I'm like, that makes sense of how that affects the sound. Yeah. It's not just like, interference of electrical bullshit or whatever you have in the building. It's like, that is actually like a magnet.
Yeah.
Like, they're spinning.
And there's like 5 or 6 of them. So,
all right. And that's pretty close to the guitar.
Yeah.
Man. Whew, man.
So I turn. I usually turn over if I want that to use that pickup by itself. But if I flip it to that second position, it will usually just go away. So, but it even comes through on my bass. So
all you gamers out there, well, you could stand up and be further away. Does it still do the same thing?
No, like it literally, if I turn like this, it stops. So that's usually how I play. It's just kind of.
You record standing up or sitting down?
It depends. Cool. Next question. No. Sweet.
Next question.
If I'm playing something like with like full movement of my hand, then I usually will like stand up. With bass, I usually do. Yeah. 'Cause I'm usually fucking jamming on that thing.
Just laying into that fucking thing.
Yeah, you see my frets, dude?
Fine. Yeah.
But with the call back the last episode. Yeah. But yeah, this one if I'm doing I usually don't stand up for guitar, but I can like if I'm really, really getting into it, if I'm like if I'm doing that, like I did that double time song, I was like kind of really had to feel it out, so.
If I'm recording like just an idea, I usually will sit down, but if I'm trying to like actually get the real performance or whatever, capture the real one, I'll stand up and do it. But like I might have the guitar higher than I normally would.
Yeah, I have that pretty high right now, but I will lower it. But like if I'm sitting,
I have it pretty high on my gut.
Yeah,
for sure. Normally it's like at my belt, and I'll have it like, maybe above maybe at my belly button, above it, maybe right below my mitts.
Yeah, show those bad boys off.
Yeah, you gotta that's how you get the fucking those high notes. But anyways, so that's really, that's pretty cool.
Did you know that was there?
No, I didn't even know one, the push pull thing, and then two, the magnet fan thing with.
Okay.
And you don't have your
just,
PC up top. You have it below, right?
I have it on the ground. Yeah, I have it on the carpet, but it has elevated off of on feet, so it's not like. I mean, probably sucking in lint and stuff, but there's a screen down there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably should check that. You're probably right.
One of those bastards. Before we started recording, his cats were just like, Kyle would have his straps on his guitars, and the cats were just, I'm like, Kyle's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, look behind you, and then the cats are just like trying to like pull on the straps that are hanging on the guitars in the background.
Jesus
Christ!
Like,
yep, that bass is gonna pull right off the wall. Because what he could do is he could get his claw and he's like, I'm gonna climb on this. So I can.
Yeah. I don't think they're really there. Like if they really want to, they probably could climb up this carpet. But
totally.
I think they just,
oh my God, they will.
I think they give up. I think they give up on it. They will eventually, but they get to like they pull, then like stretch their whole bodies out, and they're like, it's not worth it. I don't know how to do this, or like I'm not strong enough. Not yet, but
I don't have
day.
enough badges yet. You don't have enough badges to train me. But yeah.
Anyways, so mentioned my sister doing murals. She's almost done with the one here for the city for Cottonwood Shores. And then she's getting commissioned for other ones around the area. So
nice.
I went with her and scouted a new location, which was really cool, actually. This guy had like they just built this, like, they call them barn dominiums, where it's like a huge barn, really. Mm-hmm. But from the outside, it looks like a barn, but from the inside, or it looks like a metal building from the outside. But on the inside, there's like a living space. There's like, he's going to have it like a kind of hangout spot, I guess, for him and his boys.
Yeah.
And, like he's gonna be able to pull his like bunch of his cars in there, his classic cars and stuff. But he wanted, Candace, my sister, to look at it and see what she would be doing and kind of like run over ideas. And I'm like, I'll go because I can, and just want to make sure nothing happens. It's a stranger's house in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
So, and not to discredit the guy, he was a cool guy, seemed pretty cool. But I think Ted Bundy was pretty cool too. Anyway, so he's pretty righteous dude.
They made him pretty cool in the movie.
And so it was a really cool space. It was huge. And I'm like, damn, that's what I wanted to do. But obviously I don't have the funds. This guy's like fucking rolling in it. Mm-hmm. Not only does he have like classic cars that are done, not just projects.
Yeah.
He has like all of his shit together, with money.
Yeah.
And bought land and had like a big chunk of land with anyway. So it was kind of cool to see that process because they were still building it out on the inside, but the outside was done. The inside, they're still doing drywall. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, trying to avoid like, that's what I wanted to do. You stole my idea.
You just bite your lip like,
motherfucker. Now I can't do my idea.
I fucking hate copycats. And you're one. You.
So anyways, it was kind of a cool experience to see someone building that, because it's like, damn, that's I could have like a small building on my property, but nothing like that. His was like pretty much almost like 3 stories tall, because or the first floor was really tall, actually. The second floor was decent, and then there's even like a crawl space above that. So it was just 2 floors, but they were like he had everything kind of pushed to the back where the living area was, where there's like a kitchen and like, a washer dryer storage and all this other stuff. And then he's going to have his like garage. He's going to work on stuff. I'm like, damn, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I don't even want a house anymore. I just want that.
I want a garage with a living space.
Yeah. I want a garage. You throw a fucking sleeping bag on the ground. I will sleep on that.
Yeah. Sleeping on the ground is tight. You should do it.
Have you tried just sleeping without that pad, just on the carpet?
No, it's been a while.
Okay. Yeah, that sucks.
You're like,
it hurts your back.
I guess it's not that much that I have, but yeah, I guess.
Anyways, that was a good experience. So she's gonna be taking that on soon, but probably like in May or whatever. So, I remember I bought that. Remember, Brian? I bought that thing. No, I got that a headache rack for my truck.
Yeah.
And it was bent. I told you that, right? It was like the brackets that.
Yeah, bent.
The brackets that fit onto the truck. So the part that actually anchors it down. It looks like someone had backed it in or run into something and it bent it kind of like backwards on the brackets.
Balk?
So it's bent balk.
Bent balk.
So for a while, I'm like, well, I want to fix those.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do to fix those? There's like quarter-inch
hammer, probably like boing, 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 boing.
Wow.
This ain't working. Fuck. You yell at your cats. Fuck.
What are you looking at?
I'll fucking get
A
you
failure.
one of
That's what
these.
you're looking at. So it's really thick steel, and not only is it just like thick steel, but it's it's angle iron, so it has an angle to it, so it's like really strong. It's bent, but it's strong in that like you can't just like let me just put that over my knee and all right, we're back
Just
to
Popeye it. Yeah.
back is good as new. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to get a torch. I need to get like propane or MAP gas. I'm like, I don't want to get oxygen.
Yeah.
So I go to a store. I'm like, okay, I just go to I think I went to Home Depot. Completely out. Like nothing on the shelf. I'm like, all right, that's weird. You know, to try these times, I get it. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go to a hardware store farther out. Nothing. Also, it's like 30 miles away. Nothing, because I was just out there. I'm like, I'm going to stop in that same town. Stopped at a Tractor Supply. Nothing.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we haven't had this in 2 years. I'm like, holy shit. Okay, well, this will be great.
All right. See ya.
Yeah. So, I went to like another Ace, like somewhere else on the way back home. And I'm like, I'm going to stop there. I'm like, fuck, same thing. Guy's like, we haven't had it. I'm sorry, we haven't had it in a year. You know, it's like, oh, cool. Across the store.
Yeah.
So nothing. I looked online and couldn't. Yeah. Anyways, I was able to find it. I don't want to like leave you guys hanging on the edge of your seat on this one. I know.
Did you get it? Able to tune in next week for Tone Jerks Live.
Oh, that's our time. Yeah. Word from our sponsor. So. Yeah, I found one. It's like store number 6, you know, but I'm like, fuck it.
Jesus Christ. I would have given up at that point.
I'm like, I was talking to
after
a coworker
the second
of mine.
one, I would have been fuck off. You know what? I don't need this.
Yeah. I was talking to a coworker of mine. We're outside of a Lowe's. I'm like, fuck. He's like, well, we could just look it up online. And he's like, nope, this Lowe's doesn't have one. This Home Depot back, you know, another direction. I'm like, I don't want to drive another one. I'm like, what about this one that's just up
that way?
Yeah, it wasn't that far, but it's just like it's just you might as well be driving 100 miles because it's like one way and then back the other way. It's like to go, you're out of your way. But the Home Depot that was just like 3 miles down the road had it. I'm like, fuck yeah. I went and picked it up, and then I thought, I'm like, I got this thing. This project's going to be so easy. That was the hardest part, was finding
the blowtorch.
Yes. So I could share some pictures in the group or whatever. It's probably not that interesting, but they were like bent at like, so like here's flat, obviously. Where the bend was, they were kind of like scooping upwards.
Yeah.
And so I had to heat up where the fold in the metal was, because it actually had like, not only was it bent, but since it had the angle iron, it had like 90-degree angle on one side, it was like, looked like a piece of paper, like it was like bulged out. So had to heat that shit up, beat the shit out of it, put it on like a straight piece of wood, screw it down to it, trying to catch the piece of wood on fire with this MAP gas, which I had like a spray bottle, and it did catch fire a couple times because it was like there was like rubber on this thing that was like boiling. Yeah. Like the steel was so hot. It was middle of the day, so I couldn't tell if it was glowing or not. But I did manage to like grab it when it was hot. Because like, oh yeah, you were just cooking that, by the way. Just grab it with your fucking hands. I grabbed like a little farther up, and I'm like, huh, oh, yep, ooh, it's hot. I think we'll see if I lose the skin there. But finally got this thing somewhat straight. Like it was, I had to soak the wood. I had like a big block of wood. I had it screwed down to it, and it's a bowed over it. Had to heat that shit up on it, and then just beat the shit out of it. This is like, I had multiple. This is debacle basically. It's a story on its own. Now I had
it's a fucking movie.
I had my first thing. I had it just heating up, and I had it stuck on the back of my work truck in a little spot where I could just kind of crank it backwards and bend it, and it got a little bit of headway, but it was just way too much. It was just, and I had it all in one, I had it actually bolted together, and I was kind of wrenching back on the rack. I'm like, oh, this is working. It wasn't working. Decided I would just take it all apart, put it all together. And it's like 80 degrees, but it's like, it's a little bit of humidity. I'm like, screw this. I'm done for the day. I'm just like sweating, drenching. It was Friday night.
It's time to get some fucking
some fucking lager lights,
ales, baby.
Some am pale ales.
Yeah.
And so, anyways, it's not really that interesting of a story, but I did get it all together. I got it, somewhat straight.
The hero prevails. And that's a story everybody wants to hear.
So, yeah, man. And I'm out, I had to put like head, because I was pounding the shit out of it. And it's ringing out, right? It's like hitting a glockenspiel, right?
Yeah.
Super loud. So I had to put like Hearing Pro on, like with my gun stuff.
I'm sure your neighbors loved that.
Dude, there's a lady who was working outside on her like front yard, and I knew she's probably pissed off. They probably already hate me.
I'm calling fucking cops
calling again. That truck's in the backyard, but
you can't do nothing, bitch. Kyle, you're just like, fuck you.
She's not even gonna call.
You just have like no regard. You're just like over your fence. You're like, fuck off.
Fuck the police. Yeah. So.
Well, you're just like, bang, bang.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Like what I was gonna say is I have like I think my bones, my ligaments to my like wrist, just so tired from like. Oh, I also had it stretched up against my truck and a tree, and I was like with ratchet straps, like trying to heat it up, and like I was stretching it over like a medieval rack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this'll work, and no, it did not work. Like I felt like those were gonna snap. I was just like cranking the shit out of them, and it's like it was like, there's one strapped up here, one strapped up here, and it's like it was bowed, but once I started cranking it, it's like lifting it up into the air, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. I'm gonna heat this thing up. It's gonna break, and it's gonna land on. Yeah, it's gonna land on me and burn me.
Exactly.
It's like how many things can go wrong.
It's gonna be the Reddit r what could go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So I decided to take it all apart and just screw it down to that piece of wood and just fucking go to town. That way I know it when it's straight because the piece of wood is straight. Has a little bit of a. I'm like, but once I screw it down, it's not gonna fucking matter.
It's good enough.
Paint that thing. Yeah, dude. I was so tired of it. I'm like, I just need new brackets. I think, but new brackets like $130 or $100 just for the brackets. I bought the whole thing for $100.
But it was Kyle
dude,
won. This thing 0.
Dude, the thing is crying still. Like, oh man,
just bunch of just belly aching.
Yeah,
Kyle's just like, yeah.
So. Anyways, now I'm looking for a toolbox to throw on that thing. Because the little toolbox will fit right there, or a fuel tank that'll fit right there, like an extension. Because fuel is just everywhere these days, plentiful and cheap. So
you're like, that's
that
what
was
I
originally
want. I
the
want
plan.
a fucking fuel box.
I want to be able to fill more.
Maybe something different.
I want the thing to be 300 pounds empty. So yeah. Now I found some combination toolbox of fuel tanks that would be pretty sick to throw in there, dude.
Sick as fuck, dude.
Yeah. dude, like 100 gallons on top of the 40 I have in that truck already.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
How much? I mean, more expensive than the truck. Yeah,
That's
that's 40.
40
the thing
gallon.
already takes 40. It's two. I told you it's 2 20s.
You probably did, but I'm like, yeah, probably. Oh my god, damn. Mine is 27 gallon,
Nice.
and I think that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Last time I filled up, which was like 2 weeks ago, was 130.
Dang. I have not filled up my Vic.
I've
been driving
this week, I'm gonna see if I can skate to payday. This is a gas tank rodeo. I'm gonna try and do.
You'll be looking for 8.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, let's go. Just like all the hills, I'm just like accelerator off, and I'm like, let's just like the
you turn the AC off.
I put out like my shirt for a sale. I'm like, all right, let's go. Come on, let's go.
In the car, you lean forward.
Yeah.
Like
And just stop.
aerodynamic.
I'm like, no, we're gonna like. I just roll up on the sidewalk. I don't even stop. Just to like, all right, we need to keep the momentum going.
Yeah. Looks like we're turning right here. Right? Yep, we're turning right. We're not stopping at this light.
You don't even stop. You're just like, what?
This isn't even.
I barrel roll. It's like my truck's, but I still then I get back into it and roll. I'm like, all right, that momentum kept me going. Just all like look like a crushed tin can when I get to work. I'm like,
yeah,
worth it.
You're flipping on your side like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, I'm still making headway.
No brakes. Yeah, it's like I don't even have them.
And up on when I go up hills, I treat it like a razor scooter. I'm like, come on, this is pushing with my foot. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, things like what, like 3,000 pounds, probably more. Anyways, so I'm looking for that. I don't really need it right now, but if one falls into my lap like this headache rack did, then gotta get it. Also looking for seats, kind of doing like that thing. I get in it, right? I feel like I'm a bear on a bicycle or like a tricycle because I'm like pushed up to like the steering wheel and like it's manual, so I have to use my feet. I'm like, feels like I have to, it doesn't feel natural. So I can't go back any farther with the seat. So
gotta work on those quads.
I know. Well, it's not. That's my core, dude.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
yeah. Anyway, so I was thinking of just maybe putting the seat back, but anyways. Will Lehue turned me on to a yeah.
Like the fly with them, like, okay, all right, what are we doing?
What's new with you, Brian? You turned me on to a synth, like a built-in synth called Surge XT, which is like an open source synth.
Okay, yeah.
So far I've only been able to pull it up on my like desktop. I haven't been able to pull it up into Reason yet. So people say, oh, you can use it as a VST, but I think you have to download since it's open source, it's not like everything was planned out. I have to do it. Like I have to load it into another program and have that program be the VST into Reason. So we'll figure it out, I guess. But it's cool. It's I guess I'm diving into it still. There's some really cool sounds in there, and it's kind of a lot, I guess, when it comes to trying to, the little knobs on the screen. You're just trying to with your cursor, trying to like grab it and like, but it's cool. That was just a shout out for. Well, it's free, obviously, because it's open source. So I would check it out if you guys wanted to try it. Have a synth on your computer to kind of mess around with. You could use your keyboard. What's it called again?
And then can you send me a link to it? I'll put it in the description.
It is Surge XT.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll send you a link for that.
And then that's cool. But always like the free plugins and free shit that you can use for music and shit.
Definitely, if it just kind of helps you be more creative on the side or whatever. Like if I really want that jump synth. Well, they fucking got it. So
yeah.
Anyways, what's new with you, Brian?
All right. So I played a show a couple days ago.
Whoa.
Yeah, I played at the Ken Club, and it was very much. It was cool. I mean,
Was it nostalgic for how those shows usually go?
kinda, yeah. So, we wanted to make it as much of a as good as it could be for a show, but it was good for everybody, every other band and the venue, and except for us, as just in case.
Dang.
So we were the one who booked it. It was like kind of like 2 weeks in advance, maybe, but there was a good amount of people there. We closed, headlined, and the venue really wanted the show to go until like almost 1 o'clock.
Oh, holy shit.
And I'm like, he's like, yeah, we normally have music on Fridays going this late. I'm like, we were supposed to be like, our initial thing was like, music's done. We're done by 11:30. Every band gets like 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then, we maybe play 35 if we're closing, 40 maybe. Yeah. So, the bad stuff out of the way first. I'm like, by the time we like play, like by the end of our set, there was like 10 people there. I'm like, this is so late. And the owner was like, hell yeah, guys, you guys are awesome. Thanks. Because there was people there throughout the whole night. Because we like, friends came out, even friends who were like, I can only stay for like a song or two. And then we see people in the back. They're like, yeah, cool. And like a buddy of, a buddy of, of ours, and, like friends of Adam's, I could see them in the back. They're like, all right, they do the peace thing during the second song. I'm like, fuck, we still have like 10 more of these. So that was the, I mean, I'll be honest, to you. I'm like, we're not like, I'm not gonna be like, yeah, we play for millions of people. No, it just, this one happened to be one. It's like, we're excited to get back on stage. It was cool because the other bands and everybody was like having fun and people were drinking. And we got paid, bands got paid, venue got paid. Everybody was happy, but it was like, being the closing band sucks ass. It always does. It always fucking does. You're not headlining, you're closing, bro. It was it Johnny at Daredevil? He was like, "You ain't closing, bro. You're fucking you're not headlining. You're fucking closing." And
your own show.
Exactly. You're fucking closing that show.
Damn.
And there's sometimes where bands will headline a show, they're gonna put themselves second to last. They want a band closing. So it's different than like, your main show that you go see, like, oh, I'm gonna go see Gaslight Anthem, or
Oh, yeah, everyone goes to see
Green
them,
Day, or whatever. It's like they're the band that is the last one. So it's whatever. But it was all right. We're all said and done. It was like for a 2-week show, out. It was fun. It was still good.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody was happy. It was good. But we're not gonna try and do too many of those again. But just to come back, I'm like, I don't know when the last time we played live in front of people.
Not that long ago.
I don't know. It seems like it's been
Probably last year, right? Because you guys are playing those shows up in.
Yeah, we were doing some of the more private house parties or whatever.
Yeah.
But it feels like a long ass time. So happy to be getting into it or whatever. But the other bands, they were cool. I guess
play with?
The opening band, they're like I said, they were good. They had some really good gear too, which I was like, oh shit, okay. So you know Ken Club. It's not really that big of a venue, but it's got some space, right?
Yeah.
But opening bands, all had, bass players wise, were really packing some heat.
Hell yeah.
So the opening band's bass player, he had a 410 cab.
Nice.
And a 1x15 Ampeg cab.
Oh.
So Ampegs, right?
Full stack here.
Pretty much, right? And then he had the orange Terror Bass 500, the newer version.
Nice.
And it was loud as fuck. Like, so loud. I'm like,
nice.
Just the amp. I'm like, probably don't need all the 500 watts.
Yeah.
And then
dial it back.
The guitarist had like which is pretty cool. It's like for a punk band, they had like, kind of more of like, it's like really just kind of more of like, think of like your punk kind of
downstrokes.
Exactly. Yeah. He had a silver face bassman. A silver man is what I was gonna say. It sounded awesome. Just like a
Silver Surfer Fender.
Yeah, he had a Silver Surfer Fender. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, just like a half stack. I'm like, wow, that sounded great. And then it's pretty unconventional for like kind of more of like a downstroke kind of punk band to be like, all right, that's really good gear. And then the next band, which was the Gaslight band that I had mentioned before, had the big Gaslight Anthem vibe to them. They had that even down to their instruments. Like I'm stumbling all these words. I'm like, my instruments. I'm like getting over a cold here.
Stay away from me then.
Yeah, over the internet. Everybody listening, like, oh shit, shut off the podcast.
Fuck. Delete.
So even down to the instruments of the band, like the singer had 50s like butterscotch telly,
nice.
Which Brian Fallon would have. And then the guitarist was a little different. He had a Strat, which was a white Strat American Standard with a tort guard, whereas Alex from Gaslight had a Jazzmaster white with a tort guard. I'm like,
interesting.
I see what you're doing there, but it sounded awesome. It was
two guitars, one guitar,
two guitars, okay. And then 4-piece band.
Gotcha.
Like Gaslight, and then the bass player had awesome rig too, jazz bass, American jazz bass into classic Ampeg and 610 Ampeg cab, and again, your boy was loud as fuck. When you're in the crowd, you can realize how bass. I'm like, that sounds great, but you can't hear jack shit of anything else. Like, all right. And even Johnny was saying like, oh, it's weird because noticeably it's like, huh. Even he was like, that's weird because I'm like, I play a jazz bass and I can play a classic, but I'm like, why is the finger playing because he would switch between songs, why is the finger playing so much louder? I'm like, I can't hear anything. Just like, really? Cool classic rig is awesome, but we can't hear the fucking rest of the band because the guy's just like, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, you have 300 watts too. We get it.
Yeah.
Roll it back a little bit.
Roll it back. Those tubes aren't going to last forever, baby. Mm-hmm. And you're not going to be able to replace them.
And nowadays, you better fucking conserve those bad boys. But, that band, same thing, that same band, they were pretty easygoing with guitar rigs. I'm like, they both had the DSL Marshalls.
Hell yeah,
so
DSLs,
1x12.
dude.
Hell yeah. And it was easy. That's like, yep, that's a rock sound. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was cool sounding, band. And I'm like, all right, cool. And then when we went up, I was so concerned about like bass, being too loud. I didn't want to be too loud and overwhelm the front of stage. But luckily with my rig, I can't really get too.
What did you play?
I played the Terror Bass combo, so the low guy, and then I did bring the extension cab.
Hell yeah!
And it was great because I could be loud enough to where I can hear it. And from what I heard, Johnny was there. Johnny Ray, old Johnny Two Guns. He was there, and then so was Justin Matonder Jones and
Nice.
Wooden Dan.
Nice.
They came out, and then a couple other friends. But like I was always like I'm like kind of jumped to like my gear friends of like how did it sound gear wise? Da, 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 da. I didn't want to be too loud, and they're like no, that worked out. Didn't want to be too quiet for stage volume, but I still want it's something different when you're playing through the house because I'm like you go DI right, but at this venue, but I still want some stage volume if I can get it. But you don't want too much to where you're like blowing it like the system out. I was like, it's not a competition.
You're
I just want
brown
some.
noting yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it ended up being good from what I heard. And then bass wise, I did play the Birdo bass.
Yeah.
You can see in the background there. Showed it enough on the podcast. From Justin Motonder Jones or Motonder Guitars. The Birdo bass. And so Justin kind of rolled out because he's like, I guess he lives really close. He's like, I'm actually like, you could see my house from the venue. He's like, well, so I just walked over. I'm like, it's easy enough for me. But it's kind of funny. He's like, yep, I built that bass a couple houses down.
What's cool is all of his promo pictures he has taken are from that park. That's right there.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at their website. Like, oh, that's cool.
He's like very, very local, especially that bar. So he's like, it's cool to see the bass being played live, and really dig that bass. It like I said, it has that P bass punch with the attack of the Music Man Stingray kind of thing because it's a humbucker in the position of a P bass. It's great. It's great. And so it was a fun show. The next gig that we play is gonna be in Ocean Beach over at Winston's. It's
good old Winston.
Old Winston's. We haven't played there in a while, but it's a day show and we open. So it's the stark difference of like closing on at playing till 1 a.m.
Yeah.
We play at 5 p.m. I'm like, perfect.
Damn.
I'm like, perfect. So we're done by probably like 5:45. I'm like, awesome. This is great. So we're playing there on April 24th. So any people in San Diego that, cruise out, check it out. I'm going to try and borrow an amp for that show. We're playing with punch cards, so I'll ask Mike to see if I can borrow his amp. That way I'll play the Birdo bass, which is not my bass, and play somebody else's amp, which is not my amp. So I can be very much a San Diego bass player.
Yeah. Finally living the dream.
I know. So there's one thing I did want to show off. So in case there's anybody who's like a photo guy, photo gal, videographer, whatever, something cool that I got. So I have here I'm showing on the YouTube feed here. So this is my GorillaPod that I have for my camera. But one thing I used it when we were in Texas. It's cool because it's a travel tripod deal for your camera. You can hook it up to different places, set it up, whatever. But one thing that I have on my Sony camera that I'm using to film this whole thing is I have a mounting plate that I can use to quick attach it and off on my tripod that I normally use for videos and such. And so I'm like, that is so quick and convenient. But I'm like, and I have to unscrew it on and off to my desktop or desk mount camera stand. So how can I make this to where one mount that's on my camera can click on and off to all my different tripods? I currently have 3. So my Manfrotto, which is the main one, the desktop mount for the podcast here, and then my GorillaPod here. So this thing is pretty cool. It is, so if you use Manfrotto, so I went to Nelson Photo in San Diego. So there's this little deal. So this is one for my smartphone, but I have the same tripod on my camera. I'm not going to take it on and off, but you can just see how that mounts onto the top of that. And then I just take this and just, that locks in. I'm not affiliated, but I'm like, I spent so long trying to find a solution for that. I will link it in the podcast. If you happen to go the Manfrotto route, I'm like, this is like, I think a 200 PL plate. And then, yeah, you can just click it on like that and then locks in. Like your camera is locked. I'm like, this is great. Instead of having to screw on unscrew. This is not Tone Jerks related, but I was like, I got to get that out there on film. So that's a kind of a what's new for me. I did want to go into the big ear pedals, but I think we're kind of running along for what's new. So we'll push it on to next week.
Yeah.
They're sick. So thanks again to Scott at the FX Loop podcast. Shout out. Yeah. And then we did have a quick topic. You want to get into that? All right. So you had this topic.
This money topic.
Yeah, money topic that I think we've been dragging on for a couple months and kind of like teasing people about. Do you want to like finally like whip it out?
Yeah.
Tell people this gold mine.
People with it.
Yeah.
So, you're gonna be unimpressed. By the way, we do this where we push a topic so far, like 4 or 5 episodes, and it's like
we got
and
one,
then when we drop it, it's like
it's
so dumb.
The ice one was great.
So this one is basically, I mean, you're scrolling through on Facebook Marketplace, wherever you're looking for guitars, whatever, and you see like, for me, I literally go and look for Warmoth parts,
Okay.
I really don't want like a side manufacturer or whatever, even Mighty Might, or like, when I'm looking for replacement necks, unless they are Fender, but I look at Warmoth. And I came across one. Actually, this guy had 2 P basses that were fully built, and I was kind of whatever. Because when they're fully built, the guy wants like $1,200. I'm like, no, I don't want your build.
Yeah, I just want your
It's like
parts.
wearing your underwear. It's like you made that the way you wanted to. But what I noticed is he labeled it.
Yeah,
he labeled it as a Warmoth, right? Everything, Warmoth neck, Warmoth body, and then he, pickups, he labeled everything in this, I think it was Craigslist ad. But then the headstocks, like he had on both of these guitars, he had put like water slide, like stickers, like the water slide decals.
Yeah.
That were Fender. So he went through the trouble to build this guitar, put it together, I should say, and then take the manufacturer that he's replicating and put on there, but he's not trying to sell it as such. He's not saying this is a Fender.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying this is a Warmoth. So my thing is, what the fuck?
So
maybe there's a way you can put that as a question.
WT fuck. No, it's kind of like, what are you trying to get out of this? So he definitely has like a non-Fender guitar.
He's being honest. He's not selling it as a Fender.
But when he plays it, it is a Fender.
It is, yeah. He's trying to show it on stage, or
he's trying
whatever.
to be a little sneaky. Hey, sneaky.
Yeah.
With like playing on stage, I'm like, I think it's just, I mean, like quickly you could just say clout. He's trying to be like, oh, clout chaser, but I'm like, he doesn't want to like, he doesn't want to like, like, oh yeah, oh no, it's a Fender. I have a Fender, I'm like, or a '60s Fender or whatever. I'm like, there's a lot of builders who kind of will take, I don't know, Fender parts or Mighty Might parts, and they really up, or do their own thing with them.
Yeah.
I don't want to say, but I think it's the Nash Guitars guy. He'll take or maybe there's another builder who does like the relics, and then they do they'll take it and be like, okay, here's a fresh neck, and I'll do my own thing to it of finishing and whatever.
Wasn't Black 35 doing that?
I think
allegedly.
I think so, but I'm like, I want to say Nash guitars were doing something similar, and then there was another one. I can't remember the name of it, but MJT.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. But I mean, nothing wrong with that. But they put their own logo on it. Like, okay, cool. They took like that.
They're taking a Fender license replace neck.
Exactly, and they're doing their own, doing their own thing with it. But they didn't put Fender logos on it.
Yeah, but they put their logos on it.
Nash Guitars put Nash Guitars on it. And I don't know, like I keep saying Nash. That one I'm not sure. MJT, I'm pretty sure did that. But you could look at like because the headstock is the same on the Nash ones.
Yeah.
So okay, maybe they take Fender license stuff and then do their own thing with it. But I'm like, they're not trying to say like, oh, this Nash guitar is like a Fender custom shop. Even though people like the Nash guitars are like pretty highly sought after, and they're like, oh, this is a pretty good, you're paying, maybe Fender American prices for these like relic builds, not Fender custom shop prices.
Yeah.
And he does a pretty fucking good job too. Bands like Against Me, fucking Gaslight Anthem, stuff like that would play these guitars. And so it's like a bunch of others too, like Dave Haas and stuff. So they're not like shit guitars. But I'm like, you pay maybe $2,000 for like a relic nitro, finished guitar, as opposed to, the $5,000 or $6,000 for the Fender version,
Yeah.
So, you're here and there.
I'm just confused on why
this guy.
I think in this situation, like your Warmoth guitar might be better than like at least the parts, like the assembly, like the quality of the product might be better than most Fender guitars. Maybe not the Americans.
Yeah.
But the quality of like the necks are like better than the Mexicans or the Japanese ones So why would you throw that on there without a serial number,
or even a comparable, like it's comparable to, if not better, whatever. But I'm like, it's just the brand name that he put on there.
Yeah,
that's like, why?
Because when I first saw it, I thought it was like a joke, like, oh, because I was thinking, oh, I'll put like fucker or like make it look like it says Fender, but it's like Fendin or whatever, just like something that looks similar. Mm-hmm. It has an F that actually looks kind of like a T or whatever. So like kind of, but no, it literally said Fender with like the Corona, whatever it says underneath it, like the copyright. I'm like, Jesus, dude.
Yeah.
You bought those. Those are the cheapest thing on there. And that to me devalues actually your guitar.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. I didn't think about that too, but I'm like, I don't know. It could be, to him maybe, or like, when he built it, it's like, oh, well, this will be like, when I play it on stage, the Fender name will really make it like legit.
So I can't play something with a logo on it.
Yeah. Like,
maybe not in this town.
Yeah. Like we're both wearing like logos. I'm like, oh, okay, this fucking thing. But, or it's like, yeah, I mean, my Strat that I have, like I have a Warmoth neck on it. I actually like it better that it doesn't have a Fender Fender name, or name badge on the headstock or whatever, signature. I'm like, yeah, because it's mine.
Yeah. Well, this guitar, I have a sticker on it, like where a logo would be. I have the dick butt.
Yeah, I think I have like a star on the headstock of mine.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I had a sticker. I'm like, I just stuck it on there. I'm like, okay, cool. I kind of like, I don't know, I like that I was like, oh, it's not a Fender. I'm not going to try and say that it is.
Yeah, I think as a kid, like when I was refinishing that Squier bass, I was like, oh, I got to get rid of this Squier logo on it. So I took like nail polish or something to it and got rid of it. And I'm like, still a fucking Squier. What am I doing here? Years later, it's like still plays like a Squier. Not fooling anybody.
Yeah. It's like nobody is going to like, oh shit. Like, I think maybe some people like, and I've been into it too. It's like, they think of they see the brand and then they're like, oh man, respect already. Massive respect. Because you're playing the the Mesa, or you're playing like the Ampeg or whatever. There's even like I know there's tons of cab companies that make cabs besides like the major name brands. There's like specific. I'm like, oh, Avatar I think is one.
Yeah.
That comes to mind in where they'll do like a cab that looks similar to
Let's say you're playing too much Mario.
Yeah. Too much Mario for sure. Where it looks similar to an orange, and like they have like the chunkier kind of body and then the same kind of colored Tolex on there, and then they'll do like the same kind of fabric weave on the front, and you ain't fooling nobody. That ain't no orange. Come on, bud. But they'll make it look like it, and then people will buy it. And I'm like, it's probably honestly not much cheaper than like buying a used one, but it's you can get that on stage and be like, oh shit, okay, what the that's not an orange like logo on there. But your average person might not notice or care. And the thing is, the biggest part of it that we haven't said yet, most people don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about what gear you're playing. If it sounds good, they'll notice. If it doesn't, yeah, or if you're not playing well or your songs suck dick. And the biggest thing people notice when you're playing live, this is the tip that if you haven't heard this yet on the show, which I'm sure we have said, but we're going to hit them again. If people can't hear your lyrics, that's one thing they'll notice.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you sing.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That wasn't my fault.
Yeah. I think your
I couldn't
family,
hear your singing. Why
your
couldn't
family
I hear
and
your
friends
Yeah.
notice that, but then other musicians are like, damn, dude, your bass tone or your guitar, like, you guys are killing it. That sounds great. But your family's like, I didn't enjoy myself because I couldn't hear you singing. The only person I came here to see. Yeah. And then, whereas like, even with that band that we had mentioned before, like, or I mentioned, you didn't mention, that show, I'm like, oh, sick fucking American jazz bass into a fucking classic Ampeg 610 rig. Great. And Johnny's like, great bass sound. I know it sounds good. Yeah.
Doesn't need to be that loud. Johnny's like, you could have turned down, buddy. The house is getting your DI.
I could share this picture, this posting. He still has it up of this bass, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And I won't show his name if that's cool or whatever.
Sure, yeah. Just make sure, or if you need
I
to.
Won't scroll down. Yeah. So here it is. Here it is. He's got his Fender logo.
That's not even a Fender headstock.
No, this is the Telly.
Yeah,
this is the Telly
bass. Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks kind of funky. He picked the worst headstock, by the way.
Yeah.
But actually, $650 is not bad. I thought this thing was like $1,000, but it's got a lot of shit. It's I don't know. It's not really anything to write home about, I guess. But
well, the body's kind of cool. I mean, the whole thing's got actually not that bad.
It looks nice. It looks nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, look.
Yeah. Why
made
even
in
do
USA.
that? And it said made in USA. You couldn't even just left it at Fender.
Yeah. And then he did a clear coat over it.
That is funky looking, actually. That headstock, I'm like, no.
No, it's the Telly headstock, which is the worst part. I want the Telly bass, not the Telly shape. I guess, sorry, the Mike Dirnt style, the 52 or 51, whatever, but without that headstock. I want to build one eventually.
This ain't it, Chief.
Look at, there's like pitting and... Can you see my cursor?
Deep grain, yeah. I can see it.
He
I
did
think the video will pick it up, yeah.
He did a bad job of coating this. Or maybe that's just part of the aesthetic. But overall, it is a cool looking bass. I just don't know why he put that the Fender on there.
He didn't need to do that.
Because he obviously says it's a Warmoth Telly bass neck.
Yeah.
It's not like it's actually a Fender bass neck. And then he put a clear on it and didn't sand it, and then put another clear and sand it. He just did one coat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh well.
There's also one bass in San Diego where it's like Ernie Ball, Music Man, or whatever, and then it obviously has a Fender headstock, like the 4 in line, like. And then you look at the posting, and he's not lying because it's like you see 250, and you're like, and it has printed on there, like like a Music Man Stingray. I wonder if I can pull it up. But like this, this post is like the title or whatever is like pretty, deceptive. And then you look on it, and I'm like, if you didn't actually read the post, I'm sure most people would be like, oh man, what a great deal. I'm going to get that. Yeah. And then you kind of wonder if it's still up.
And by the way, we're showing ads now. We're not 60 Cycle Hum.
We're just like,
sorry guys, we're trying to stay in our lane here, but we just got to show it. We got to do it.
I might not be able to pull mine up. So
okay.
Maybe somebody did buy it.
Maybe got shamed to death.
Well, I mean, somebody is shamed into buying it.
No.
I think
shamed into taking it down.
Yeah, maybe it did sell. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
All right.
All right, this is actually. Ooh, look at this baby. This one's pretty cool. I'm gonna share this. This is not even the one I'm talking about. Let's see.
I want to see it.
Look at it.
Oh, nice.
That is pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
That I am.
Oh, baby. It's like an 03, 04 older one.
I think 2000.
Yeah.
Stingray. I like that. That's pretty sick.
How much?
I think it was $1,800.
Oh.
Man, that is a cool bass. Holy shit. I just found it.
What's this thing right here? The black thing on the pick guard. And then there's a white thing.
Let's see. So there's this, yeah. So there's two looks like nuts on the top of the pick guard, kind of like above the pickup of a Stingray. Let's see what this guy says. So plumbing washers on the pick guard use as thumb rest. Will remove soon. There you go.
God.
Answered. So mid-90s salmon, coral pink. Man, this is awesome. I like that a lot.
Up in L.A.?
Yeah, our
Monrovia.
SGV? Where the hell is that?
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to Los Angeles tomorrow. Too bad I don't have $1,900 or $1,800.
Bring some money.
Yeah.
Bring some walking around money.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Give him $1,500. That's such a slap in the face.
Yeah. I was trying to find the one I was talking about, and I got distracted. That's a cool fucking bass. Damn. All right. But so there's somebody had like a Fender headstock, and then with the 4 in line where you saw in that picture, or people who aren't listeners, it's 3 and 1 for the Ernie Ball Stingray. So this one had a 4 in line, and I'm like, that's not correct. And then they still had the Fender, the Ernie Ball Music Man, logo, Stingray at the top of it. I'm like, that's not correct. And then it had the body of the Stingray, which is like the kind of egg shaped looking or oval
pick
looking pick guard with the humbucker. And I'm like, all that like below the 12th fret looks correct. Everything above it, I was like, that's what?
Yeah. This is the way Leo would have wanted it.
Yeah. If he could have had his way, he would have had the P-bass headstock on the Music Man.
Yes.
But I mean, in the description, he does say, this is not, this is a parts build. So
yeah.
But I'm like, why'd you put the fucking logo on?
Yeah.
And why did you list it as Ernie Ball Music Man for $250?
Yeah. Well, it's just the headstock.
What's a headstock? What's a headstock between friends?
Yeah.
Headstock between mates. It's just kind of a thing too. It's like, it's really just for the person. If you're really, which I think a lot of guitar players and musicians are, if you're really like focused on brands, my brand.
Yeah.
that's gonna be it. But it's like at a certain point, if you're lying to say that it's a brand, but when it's not.
But when you find someone who's not lying either,
well, no,
it's
they're
so
not.
weird.
But the thing is, they're like, I have never been that person, and I know we've. I think we mentioned this on the Patreon before, but it's like had a friend who had like some cheap like Behringer cab, like 4x12 cab, like a little light piece of shit. Like, I mean, it wasn't. I say piece of shit. I take that back. It was fine, but he knew it was like a cheap cab. Like for a guitar, by the way. Yeah. And then he was like, "Yeah, I know it's a cheap piece of thing." And I was like, "But whatever, it's light, and this is what I can afford at the moment." But he was in like, he's like, we were in a parking lot one time on tour, and I saw just laying there, just like an angel in the parking lot, a nameplate that said Mesa Engineering. It's like that, the metal plate from Mesa cabs. He's like, I saw it there.
I remember that.
He's like, so I drilled that fucker right into my cab.
Yeah, it's a fucking Mesa now, dude.
And he says, it's a Mesa cab now.
It was a prototype.
I remember when we saw them, like we played a show. I'm like, that's a Mesa cab? He's like, no, not at all.
The thing is,
he's
light
like
as
smiling.
hell.
He's like, no. But fucking people in the crowd don't know a goddamn thing. And I'm like, mad respect. mad respect. Because the cab was so much smaller than an average Mesa cab that the logo looked so fucking big. So it looked like you just like...
You said it back. You backline it always. So it's like, people are like, trying to look.
So they're always just looking. I'm like, is that... But the thing is, if you always just see that, I don't know, but the thing is, your average like non-musician
wouldn't even care.
But your average guitar player was like, oh, okay, cool, he's playing Mesa. Fuck it, that's cool.
Oh yeah, dude.
But he's just like, you basically just like, you're just like adjusting your eyes, like, oh, sunny. Oh, was that correct? But yeah, that was a good move. But I don't know, it's definitely just a thing. I don't know. I think we should maybe, call out to people. I'm like, would you ever try and fake it till you make it? I guess with your gear.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like. The dude's like faking it till like he's faking the bass until he makes. He probably bought a Fender bass, and then he's like, "Well, I don't need you anymore. Just Andy. Just get out of here."
And it's for $650. It's actually better than the sum of its parts for the. Usually people go, well, okay, well the body was $400, the neck was $300. Well, I'm already up to $700 on this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then like they add up, it's like, it doesn't work like that. It's like you put it all together. It's like people do that with cars. Like, well, I put $50,000. Yeah, but this car's worth 10. You knew that when you bought all that stuff and you did all the work.
Yeah, you did all the other bullshit that you didn't need to.
Well, I'm waiting for some asshole to come along to not realize that and go, I'll fucking buy it.
To see everything that I listed and to give me money, please.
Oh,
Thank
Jesus,
you.
Yeah. It's got Quaker State oil in it.
Yeah.
The filter. Yeah, people do that.
Quaker Oats oil. But anyways, that was a quick little topic. It's like, I don't know. I think most of it's just like for clout or just like, I don't know, trying to fake a gear till you make a gear. But let's get on out of here. What do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm not even like doing consonants. I'm like, let's get on.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm like, yeah, sorry. It's my cold is getting to me. Anyways, just want to say thank you for tuning into the Tone Jerks podcast. If you like what you hear, you can follow along on social media. We have a Facebook group linked in the description below, and then or you can search the Tone Jerks on Facebook. You'll find us, and then we're also on Instagram at the Tone Jerks. We're posting cool shit on the reg over there. And then if you like the show, you can give us hopefully 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, I think is what it's called. Apple Podcasts. Yep. And then Spotify. You can give us a rating over there. If you write something, we'll read it on the show. And if you're really... Oh, no, wait. Also, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube.
YouTube, yeah.
Yep. And if you're watching video, that's where you can get it, is on our YouTube channel. Yeah, we're getting more subscribers each week, which I thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Howdy. Thank you so much for that. But like I said, some watchers of our videos they watch it and they don't subscribe. So subscribe, please. And if you really like what you hear, you can help support the show on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. But if you double down for $2 a month, you get an extra episode every week, and you get the RSS feed to put into your favorite podcatcher, and you get all the bonus episodes, all the backlog. Because what is it, Kyle? Baby got backlog.
Yeah, definitely.
We have over
200 big
200
backlog, and I cannot lie.
Big old thick backlog over there. We have over 220 bonus episodes, not like the same episode on both. Yeah, you get a whole, behind the paywall. We get a little bit more rowdy over there. Get the Patreon episodes, and just for the support, we want to give you a huge shout out, Kyle.
You got it right
a
here.
list over there.
Yup.
You got a sizable acknowledgement for all these peeps. Why don't you give it to?
You want me to just say it as fast as I can?
Just say it with like how I am. Just like hold your nose and be like,
oh, Andrew Walsh.
Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove.
Say it like Beezer.
There you go. See, you wanted
The
me to say it.
bees are on Matt and Shane. Y'all doing what you going? He doesn't even say anything.
Andrew Walsh from Andrew's Alcove and the Second Button Podcast. Seinfeld Listen Watch Along podcast he does with Brian Gower, our very own Brian Gower. Abe Newman. Shut up. Abe Newman. I'm a Tim Dillon you. Shut up. Michael Newman.
Your comfort is not paramount anymore.
Ben, no one wants to hear about your Tesla, okay? Your $30,000 Tesla.
Was it with this? You always just think of was it like a sex toy?
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
I know you're holding your breath. It's like, this is my Gorilla Pod. So you put your camera on here, and you're like, oh, what is this? A sex toy?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I was like, I'll let it slide.
So for you, me, and Johnny. That's why I brought
you can
this.
Film it with the camera.
I brought this on the plane. I wonder if they're thinking the same thing. I
No.
look at this because I know what this thing is, but I wonder if they're like, what the fuck?
Can you shorten those legs? Can you pop them?
I don't think so, and I don't want to try because this thing was
expensive.
Yeah,
I would. I'd be like, I wonder if you
could
could snap. Oh shit! Well,
good amount of money.
Now I gotta snap them all in the same spot.
The idea is you can make this and you can form
Make it
in
level.
different ways, or you can wrap it around things.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get into those hard to reach places.
The way you're holding that too.
I mean, I know you were over it, but I'm like, look how cool that is. Just this, the plate and this plate here. Only you just take it and you can put it on your fucking camera. And
all right, well, I don't even know where I was.
I don't know.
I'm like four names in: Nicholas Payson, Nicholas Ogburn, Doug King, Dougie King, and Dougie Christ from 37 Effects, Masters of the Cinematic Universe, and also the Just Surprise Me podcast. There's a demo going on over here. Do you want me to continue?
That's all right. No, this is just for background. You can keep
Joe from you're like the sign language person. Yeah, Joe from Like My Pedals, the Just Surprise Me podcast, and also Masters of the Cinematic Universe. He really likes Disney. They all they like Disneyland and stuff. I've been watching tons of videos about Disneyland.
He likes Disney World.
Disney World.
That's
yeah, this is all about Disney. I mean, not just Disneyland.
Okay. Is Disney only California and Florida? There's got to be Disney Texas, right?
No. There's Disney Paris, which used to be called Euro Disney, and there's Disney Tokyo.
Yeah. Which at that point, I'm like, why are they going to deal with Disney shit? You already have anime.
Yeah, which actually Disney Tokyo is supposed to be really good with. They the property is not owned necessarily by Disneyland, so it's they split the certain things, which is kind of interesting. So they have more creative right, or they have more rights over certain things, and then the thing that owns the actual property, so some of the rides are different, right? Some of the instead of like, oh, this is a ride that you just like sit on and it's like a dark ride, you actually walk through and have an adventure while you're going through like the castle and stuff. Like,
so is it better than the American ones?
Probably not. After all that.
Oh, fuck, I think so. I guess I'm going there to Disneyland next month.
Oh, yeah?
For my sister's birthday and bringing the kids.
Your sister's birthday. How old is she?
I don't know. How old am I?
Why don't you just go to Discovery Zone instead?
She's gonna be fucking. She's gonna be in 36.
It's the same shit.
She's gonna be 36.
Yeah.
And then, but she's like, it's kind of like, well, the kids will like it. I'm like, do you want to go? Is that what you're trying to say? Is like you want to go? And yeah, look at that. Anyways, so
anyways, Will Lehue from the Just Surprise Me podcast, Tony DeGraw from the Signal Path podcast, Telly Talks, which is RJ Smith from Stream Talk Repeat. We have Jamie Davis, Johnny Ray Howie Feltersnatch, Jason Fuzzmonger, Steve Rao from 60 Cycle Hum, which we stole this whole episode from them today. Kevin E. Quits, like ads. 10 minutes. Yeah. Kevin E. Quits from E. Quits Guitars. Co Schneider from Night Tides. Check out that band. Alvaro Viramontes. Brian Nutter of Nutter Guitars. Mel Chibson of Chibson Guitars. Sean Arbo from Gun Street Wiring Shop. Sean Fahey from the band Shadowhounds. Sean Wright from Lollygagger Effects. Juan Ortiz from Tone Hungry Effects. Mike Oxbig. Hell yeah. Huge Erection.
I bet they got some of these.
Oh, did we have a new name for this next person? I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, we did.
We want to look it up while I just continue down, and we'll get him.
Got him.
Zach Hale. Eric Merrill from Elm Effects. Scott Hamilton from the Effects Loop podcast. Tim Nowick from Bardic Audio Devices. Jonathan Jeruzik from 12th Hour Devices. You got the name?
Yeah.
What is
right.
it? You can read it. I'll let you read the name.
We got somebody changed their name, which you can do if you join Patreon, and then we'll read it on the show. So we have...
but you have to let us know, I guess, when it changes. Right?
Yeah.
Or does
maybe I'll
you?
notice like when I upload them. But
okay.
Yeah. So a new Patreon name here, Yusuf fucking Cuck. Yusuf fucking Cuck.
All right, Yusuf fucking Cuck. I'll put that one in here.
Sounds like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah. Yusuf fucking Cuck.
Like, damn, dude, I don't remember that one, George Lucas.
Yeah.
You're going hard in the paint. I bought a ticket to this movie, and then that's what you're gonna say?
we had Tyler Rhines from Tyler KC Riffs on Instagram.
Yeah.
Matthew Fenslaw from everywhere, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Michael McVeigh and Matthew Davis. That's the list. Thank you so much, everyone, for contributing.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
Did you at least watch that thing after you've used it last? Okay, I'm just kidding.
Like the more you say it, I notice it more. But I'm like, oh, to me,
look, it's ribbed, dude.
It's ribbed
you can even bend
pleasure.
it. You can bend it, and you had it earlier till it almost looked like a dick, like cock and balls. You had it earlier. It was so close. There you go. There you go. We get censored for that one.
All right. Thanks for tuning into the show. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so we got another one here.
Yeah, so you found another one. So like the credits have rolled already, but you got another bonus.
And I just clicked more from this guy. This one's obviously sold.
Yeah.
But you noticed it. I didn't even see it.
This is the first picture you showed, and I'm like, look at that hat rack in the back. He's got nothing but fedoras. He's like, ma'am. He's like my Fender.
Yeah. So the same thing. I mean,
this dude over here loves to fucking put like it's a Warmouth. but he loves putting Fender. And the thing
he
is,
loves
he's
that Telecaster headstock too.
but he did a shitty placement. I don't think
What?
Fender would have that
no
logo covered.
No, it wouldn't be. It'd be like up here. It'd be
Yeah.
like it'd be slid over like an inch probably even.
Yeah.
Well, he probably put it all there and then didn't realize he had to put the
Little string tree.
string tree on there. Let's see this other picture here. Look at this. There's no neck plate. Or maybe he's got it. Oh, well, he's painting it.
Oh, yeah.
Staining it.
That's pretty good. I really dug that whole
Let's see. Oh,
the hat rack
You can
of that
block him
guy.
out.
Yeah. I'll
See.
blur it out.
Here's another one.
What
Tele
is with
headstock.
this dude and getting warm with the build and putting fenders on it? These are
Oh, yeah.
all of his bases. That's his like
This
MO.
one actually is a
Mhm.
this one actually is a Fender. It looks like.
Mhm.
Oh no, still a Warmouth.
Okay, that one is at least a Fender headstock.
Yeah, maybe is it? Does it say it in here?
Well,
Warmouth
it's a-
roasted made. No, it's still a.
Well, it's okay. It's
You're saying it's the standard
that-
precision.
yeah.
Yeah, damn. It's gold hardware, which doesn't actually. I mean, doesn't look that bad. I don't think.
But why do that? Why put the
Like,
fucking
even it's
headstock in the?
under.
Yeah. It's under the
This would be
fucking.
farther this way. Like you
Uh-huh.
have it. Or I don't think it would go that far. Fuck, dude.
It's like why take the time to do that?
Let's see. Let's go back to ground zero here. Let's see. We'll berate him a little more. Let's see this one. Mighty
Okay.
Might.
Mighty
it's
might
still-
know.
Fuck.
Why? Is like what's the point?
I don't know. And he's got a Fender neck plate too. And you know what? I guess I have Fender neck plates on a couple things. I think because I bought them in bulk. I don't know why. I got one that said Corona on it too, because I didn't want blank ones. So, but I understand. But that's on the backside. But I am also guilty, I guess, of this.
Yeah, I have one because I had the Fender or whatever the Squire neck plate on my Strat that I
Yeah.
got rid of, and it I lost it basically, and I'm like, okay, I'll just get a Fender one, and I got the one that just had the big F on it, and so that's on my Strat, and see, this is after hours. You got the cats out and shit.
Yeah.
These are for the YouTube viewers, so
Yeah.
YouTube
The
only.
algorithm right here.
Yeah.
Put cats on the.
And then, but yeah, I mean, same with you. I'm like, I had the F logo on there, so I guess it's a Fender neck plate that I have on my Squire Strat. So, I'm a liar too. Basically,
Yeah.
what we're saying is we're just like this guy. We're liars.
Your whiskers went up my nose.
My nose. All right, I think we're done here.
Yeah, I gotta show them some love. Sorry, they're scratching me up here. So
Look at the way she's sitting. It's so uncomfortable.
I know, but she's still purring.
Yeah.
I'm like holding her up from falling down.
This is like, this is all right.
So this fucking rocks, dude. Where's my fucking
This
kibble, dude?
shit rocks.
All right.